Good morning, gang. Happy Thursday morning. This time it's actually Thursday morning. Yeah, I recorded the video that I put up yesterday, or that I put up last night. That was going to be for this morning, and I thought it was too important to not get out to you guys last night, so you guys get a head start on checking stuff. So, overnight here, we have severely heavy thunderstorms coming through. Okay, I mean it's pounding on us, and it's heading right toward Ohio. It'll be probably already raining in West Virginia, probably pretty close to up near East Palestine. Which brings in this interesting scenario with this whole train derailment. I get a kick out of it because yesterday there was a town meeting, I guess, if you want, or whatever, for the mayor to talk. And Norfolk Southern didn't show up to the meeting. That would be who I'd want questions for. Wonder if Pete was there. Doubtful. Probably off breastfeeding or chest feeding or whatever the hell you call it these days for a guy. But this storm that's rolling through, now I want you to think about it. If I look in my yard, the water is just sheeting down. I mean, it's that heavy. Okay. Now, think about what's going on with all this smoke that's going up in the air. It will now come down as acid rain. Here's the other issue. Yesterday, Mike DeWine, that idiot running Ohio, even though he's a Republican, he's still an idiot. He's a rhino. Said, the water's safe to drink, and if I lived there, I'd probably go back to my house, but I'd be on alert. Okay. The water's safe to drink because, the aquifers are, I think they said 56 feet deep or whatever, and no problems getting through. The water's still all clean. This has been going on for 2 weeks. Okay. How long do you think it takes something to filter through the soil into an aquifer? More than 2 weeks. Okay. Think about just when you're watering your garden or whatever, how long it takes the water to get that far into the soil. Okay. So now what we have is all this runoff is going to go into the Ohio River, because this storm is coming, guys, and this ain't just little sprinkles and get everything wet. This is a heavy, heavy storm. Okay, go look at the Weather Channel, go whatever you want to check and look and see where it's going. You're going to get it today. So the water is supposedly safe, right? Right. I'm believing that. We're not going to know the ramifications for the water testing from the aquifers, from the wells. Somebody's got a normal well in their house, like I do, okay? It's not 300 feet deep, encased in concrete, yada-da-da-da. It's a pipe in the ground till it found a hole with water in it, okay? Literally, that's about all it is. The chemicals, because vinyl chloride and everything is very soluble, will eventually sift down in there. Now, I love when they come up yesterday and say, if you have a campfire, or if you drive a car, or if you smoke, you're susceptible to chemicals too, and you don't worry about that. Let me see if I got this straight. How many years now have they told us smoking is dangerous because there's too many chemicals in it? When was it that the EPA and everybody started putting catalytic converters on the cars because the exhaust had too many chemicals in it? Yeah. What are we hearing from all the climate change freaks about, you shouldn't be burning anything because too many chemicals in it, right? Okay. This is burning the chemicals. But there's not too many chemicals in burning chemicals. There's too many chemicals in burning wood, because the little bit that the tree took up, whatever, you're releasing those. But if we just take the whole chemical, the hell with putting any wood in there, we'll just burn the chemicals straight. That's totally fine. So now you're going to get all this runoff into the Ohio River. You're going to get all this runoff into the aquifers, into people's wells in their yard, into the farm fields. This goes right back to what I was talking about last night, about where does your food come from? Where does your water come from? Where does your soil come from? We are being lied to. Now, why is the question? Why are they telling us everything's safe? Ask yourself that question. What's the point? Why did Norfolk Southern not show up at this meeting? Why did Norfolk Southern not label the train cars correctly? That's probably to save money. Okay, I can't think that was the hourly paid maintenance guy or whatever whose job it is to go out and put the little diamond tags on the cars to say what it was. No, I'm thinking this was a little bit higher. Many of you have speculated on is this part of the plan? Okay. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say yes either. Okay. I still stick to my belief that poisoning the fields and poisoning the water is not the plan. Okay. The reduction in population is certainly the plan. This is not a real good way of going about doing it. Make it look like an accident. They don't do a very good job if that was what their intent. I'm still going to go on my thoughts that this was neglect. This was just, it's either neglect or it was some sort of sabotage. That's the only thing I can think of. All right. But to lie to the people, guys, we have to think 2 steps ahead of them. The problem is, just like in regular society in normal times, the criminals are always 1 step ahead of the law. The criminals are always 1 step ahead of the good guys. Okay. Otherwise, if the good guys were ahead of the criminals, there'd be no crime. Well, in this case, unfortunately, what we have is the powers that be are the criminals. We need to figure out our plan on how to be 1 step ahead of them. Okay? What happens today? I mean, there was a lot of freaking lightning and thunder that's come through so far. It's quiet at the moment. What happens if the power goes out today in East Palestine or anywhere there around? Okay? And rain start to pick up again. How are you prepared for that? Where are you going to get your water? Now the tap doesn't work because the power doesn't work at the pumping station or whatever. Maybe it's gravity fed, who knows, whatever it would be. They're doing something. We have to stay 1 step ahead of them. That is always why we prep, is because we need to be 1 step ahead of them. When something nefarious is done, we need to go, fine, ain't affecting me because I've got something to offset your criminal activity. This ain't going to go away soon, guys. Hopefully it's not the topic of conversation over and over and over again on YouTube here for the next 2 years. But the people up in East Palestine need help. I'm just saying. Now we got to pay attention to some other things going on, because were the balloons, all those Chinese spy balloons supposedly, were those the watch this hand? Well, this one's doing, because notice how, nobody really picked up on this story till 10 days after the train derailment, because, okay, it was another train derailment until they started doing stupid stuff. What about some of these other things that are going on that we're not paying attention to? And I'll just give you some, that maybe some that you don't. I talked a week or so ago about the Army training exercises in San Diego, yet the Army doesn't have a post in anywhere near San Diego. Okay. Marines and Navy do, but not the Army. Why was the Army down there? Interesting. Okay. You guys saw the training exercises over Washington, D.C. here on Tuesday and Wednesday. That's kind of interesting. Why would you train over in restricted airspace? Okay. Just in case of a terrorist attack. You don't need to train right over the city for something like that. They know something's up. That's what they're practicing for. My guess is to get pilots to know in the dark, because they did this training in the middle of the night, where all the elevations of things were. They were training at 2,500 feet. Trust me, they're planning on coming lower. You don't want to run into the Washington Monument or something like that. Another little good piece of information. This one ain't public, okay, but through sources I have, friends of friends of friends, the infantry units at Fort Riley, Kansas have been put on high alert. Infantry, okay, ground pounders, grunts, those guys, okay, boots on the ground. Why are we activating infantry? We're sending tanks and we're sending missiles and we're potentially sending F-16s to Ukraine. Why are we activating infantry troops? Anybody thought of that one? There's a lot going on that we're not being told. Keep your eyes open, guys. I will do the same. If you guys see anything that's weird, send it to me. If I can corroborate any of the stuff, I'll let you know. Pinball out.